Hello, it is Friday, August 19th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is a Friday puzzle today, which means it is our first of two themeless puzzles for the week, and probably a fairly difficult puzzle. I thought yesterday's was a bit tricky. For the Thursday, we'll see how this goes with Friday. Anyway, this potentially tricky themeless edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Joe Percy, Jake Rodkin, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the five of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. If you'd like to join their ranks and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in the link in the description field underneath the video, where you can also find the Daily Solve Discord chat server, a link to that, which is a nice place to discuss the daily New York Times crossword, other crosswords, crosswords created by members of the community in the Constructors Corners channel, and so on. And finally, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you to everybody who's done so. Oh, and thank you to everybody who has backed the Patreon campaign at any level. Of course, if you do that, you can get all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, such as this month's New York Times monthly bonus puzzle. This month it was themed around National Golf Month, which I suppose is August. And I usually the New York Times monthly bonus puzzles I find to be quite easy. I think they're intentionally very smooth solving puzzles. This one, I got stuck for longer than I think I ever have in one of those, thanks to its heavy reliance on golf trivia. So anyway, enjoy that. It still wasn't it was still maybe a 15-minute solve, but it was definitely trickier than those tend to be. So that's up on the Patreon channel if you're interested in that. And I think that's it. Let's move on to the puzzle. So as stated, this is a Friday puzzle. It was constructed by Patrick John Duggan, who's done about half a dozen New York Times crosswords, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shortz. So let's start solving. Former British colony whose national flag includes the Union Jack. I think there are a few of those. Let's keep looking. It might slowly grow on you. Fungi? Not sure. What about this? C25 down. Oh. Do I want to? Let's just glance at it. With 5 down, Nobel Prize-winning pioneer in atomic theory. I'm not sure offhand. Let's just keep going. To be hot and bothered. Is to fret, maybe? In 4 letters? Shelter from attack. It's not protect. That seems pretty straightforward. Freshly, anew, maybe? Like Venus vis-a-vis Serena Williams. I'm guessing this might be older. I don't know which of the two Williams sisters is older. So, but this older fits and younger doesn't. So that's my guess. Big scene could be an ado. Races in a way. In a way. Not sure about the in a way. Acted sketchily. Drew. You literally drew something. You acted in a sketchy manner. So that question mark is doing quite a bit of work there. This is a punny clue. And so this means you are literally drawing something by acting in a sketchy way. Okay, it might slowly grow on you is definitely not fungi or fungus. It might slowly grow on you. I'm not sure. Let's keep looking around. Part of YOLO. So this stands for you only live once. And only and live. Either one of those would fit. So let's keep looking. Put down to a klutz in dated slang. In dated slang. Okay, well, it's good that they clued us into that because it means I'm not going to be trying to think of things you might hear commonly now, but I'm not sure offhand. They're open to change. I wonder if it's something like purses or coin slots or something like that. I wonder if it's being slightly punny without being, while still being a sort of typical enough read of this that it doesn't need a question mark, but I'm not sure. Let's keep looking. Oops. From which we get Hakuna Matata. I think that's from the Swahili language. So does that help this at all? No, it doesn't. We already knew that was going to be plural. Here, go for a bite, say eat out, maybe? Let's go for a bite. Let's eat out. Shelter from attack, I don't know. As opposed to, I'm not sure. Keep doing the acrosses. Politician's platform, a dais, maybe? I'm not really sure if that's correct enough to be the answer here. It might be. I don't know. It's not really necessarily specific to politicians, per se. Leave stunned in a way. Oh, maybe tase? Tase somebody with a taser, I mean. Drags. The drinks are on me. This is interesting in that there are no quotation marks surrounding this phrase. So what we aren't looking for is a phrase that means the drinks are on me. You might read this clue and think we're looking for a phrase that means the drinks are on me, but if that were true, this would be in quotation marks to indicate that it's being spoken by somebody. What this reads like more to me is that it's being sort of spoken from the anthropomorphized perspective of a bar or something like that, if you see what I mean. As in it was the sort of the bar saying the drinks are literally on me. But I don't know if that's what I'm not sure that's what it means. What about this? To be up is to stir or to win? If you're up in points, you're winning? I'm not sure if that's right. Opera daughter of Amonasro. Is it Aida? Shot. Let's see. Literally Sulphur Island. I'll probably recognize this when I see it, but I'm not sure offhand. What makes you question everything you know? Some of these crossword clues. Flying. Unfading. Hail, maybe, or... Not sure about any of this. Okay, green sort. An eco something, maybe? Shot. Selfish demand. Part of a cup. A rim? Something to shoot for. This is a tough puzzle, isn't it? Sea that's fed by the Jordan River. Why can't I bring this to mind either? This is a disaster today. Big name in sandals. I don't know. Does Tom's make sandals? Not sure. One in a state of disbelief. One in a state of disbelief. A skeptic? Ill-suited. Central part of town. And kicking and screaming often. Boy, can't even tell if skeptic is correct. To have a target is to strive? And involving a give and take is... Let's see these acrosses. Like some enemies. Member of high society, question mark. So, I don't know, an airline pilot or something like that, who would be, or it could mean high in a, meaning you're sort of under the influence of a drug, perhaps. Trying to think what the question mark could be doing, because this is indicating some kind of punnery or wordplay, or it could be animals that fly, some sort of avian society. I'm not sure. Let me be frank. Wow, this could be a lot of things, especially if it starts with I. Oh, this isn't strive. Writer who founded objectivism was Ayn Rand. With her books like, well, fictional books anyway, like The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. Let's see. They move around in orbits. Well, I was going to say orbs. That's probably not right because it's part of the word orbits. It just seems too close. And anyway, the B doesn't look right here. But it probably does end with an S. Kicking and screaming often. I'm not sure. Keep looking. Big wig in the admissions department, question mark. Question mark. Like some enemies, devil may care. Member of high society, he wrote all good things are wild and free. I don't know, Thoreau maybe? I'm not actually sure about this quote. Big purveyor of frozen desserts. Oh. Edie's? Came up in the crossword just the other day. Maybe this is Emerson, actually. Ralph Waldo Emerson. That'd be sort of similar kind of tone. Cries for attention. Muse, maybe, from a kitten. Certification letters. Not sure. Striped cat. Oh, this doesn't look very good, does it? What about this? Knocks dead. Oh, maybe Edie's is wrong. Well, that was the basis on which I put Emerson in here, so maybe this isn't right either. Striped cat. I feel as though I should be able to get this. I don't know. What cats are striped? Like a lynx or an ocelot or something? I don't remember which of those are striped. A tiger, I guess, is striped. I don't know. I think this Muse is probably unsafe, which means Emerson probably is as well, because both of the things that led me to it have been deleted. Okay. Many fire department members by training. And Mideast capital. Mideast capital. This is one of those things where it could be capital meaning a capital city, but I sort of suspect in this puzzle, which has been extremely pun-heavy, it might actually be capital meaning currency, money, capital in that sense. So maybe it's the real. Knoxdead could be slays, which you could interpret either literally or metaphorically. A comedian will say, I slayed, they did very well on stage, they knocked them dead. Oh, maybe many fire department members by training. Maybe this means EMTs. They could have EMT training, emergency medical technician training. That would make sense, actually. So, all right, let's keep... Oh, striped cat. Is it tabby cat? Is that a striped cat? Sort of sounds right to me. So cries for attention. Okay, it's not Muse. It's what? I don't know. Oh, big purveyor of frozen desserts is TCBY, which is an ice cream and I guess related frozen desserts chain in the United States and maybe elsewhere. Los Angeles and New York City are each represented in it twice. Oh, the NBA probably. They must each have 2 professional basketball teams. Oh, let me be frank. Let's not mince words. No, I won't mince words. There we go. Okay, so that was an I there after all, even though it wasn't the word I originally suspected. Have a target. Strike? No, sorry, that doesn't... There's no K here. What am I talking about? Sorry. Aspire? Maybe this isn't skeptic. Boy, this has been rough, hasn't it? Oops. They move around in orbits. And member of high society. Still not seeing it. Like some enemies. Sworn enemies. There we go. Involving a give and take. I don't know. What about this one? Scorcher. Involving a give and take. This is strange looking. Those W's. Whoops, I didn't mean to. Actually, I know this answer. Russian blank. Iconic restaurant near New York Central Park. The Russian Tea Room. I've eaten there, actually. Big name in sandals. Oh, maybe it is Tom's. That's funny. Why did I know that? I'm trying to think what. Anyway, doesn't matter. Devil may care. Lazy? That seems not quite right. It's not really lazy. Projecting front. Oh, a prow. A prow of a ship projects out. It's probably the answer. Cries for attention. Oh, maybe it's just the word hey. It's funny. I was looking for something maybe slightly less direct than that, but that was the answer. Oh, and this was my first guess, Thoreau. All good things are wild and free. Okay. There we go. Certification letters. USDA, maybe? U.S. Department of Agriculture will sort of inspect various foodstuffs. Author of the six-book poem Fasti. It must be Ovid. And oh, just stop. Just stop. I don't know. It's not your fault. Some nerve? Something nerve? Devil may care. Rank? That doesn't really quite fit either. Like casting Michael Keaton in Birdman as an actor who used to play a superhero. Ah, that's meta, I suppose. Kind of self-referential, metatextual. Oh, just stop. Because obviously, sorry, just to clarify, because Michael Keaton did, in fact, used to play a superhero. He used to play Batman. Anyway, oh, just stop. Oh, just stop. I mean it. Oh. No, that doesn't work. I've had it. Maybe this isn't Tom. Sorry. Maybe I was right to wonder why. No, it's. Oh, rash. Devil may care. You have a devil may care attitude, a rash attitude, right? So you are doing things without thinking very carefully about them. Okay, so I guess this wasn't Tom's. So what is this? Big name in sandals. I have no idea. Bigwig in the admissions department. Question mark. So what is that getting at? Does it mean someone important who's actually admitting something as opposed to admitting somebody to university, for instance? I'm not sure. It's not your fault. A misserve? Oh. Maybe this is referring to fault in tennis. It's not your fault. The fault does have a specific meaning in tennis that I used to know, but I can't quite remember exactly what it is. I think it's not your fault. I mean, I would have guessed it was a misserve, but apparently not. So there's some subtlety that I am missing. Speaking of missing things, maybe it's not misserve. Sorry, because I just looked at part of a cup and that looks like rim again. Something to shoot for. The moon or shoot for. I don't know. Boy, this whole area is confounding. Maybe I'll just delete this for now and move on until hopefully I can get 42 across at some point or I'm in trouble. Dawn, the onset, the sort of dawn of realization, the onset of realization, that sort of thing. Bigwig in the admission. Oh, St. Peter, right, who's often depicted as kind of letting people into heaven at the pearly gates. Okay, so it's not your fault. Oh, a let serve, maybe that would make more sense to me. Part of a cup, the lip of a cup, maybe. Okay, there we go, similar to the edge, sort of. Something to shoot for. Oh, par, you shoot for par in golf, for instance. So big name in sandals is Teva, I guess. Teva. I don't think I know that. It's presumably a brand name. Anyway, good. Well, I'm glad I got that area worked out. So let's keep going. Maximally neat. Maximally neat. Coolest, maybe? If we're using neat in a colloquial sense to mean cool, that's great. That's neat. Shelter from attack, as opposed to against or in. I don't know. Runs up and down. Trills, maybe? In a musical sense, you have musical runs. Trill isn't really the same thing as a run. Maybe that's not the answer. Like policies prohibited by Title IX. Title IX refers to various forms of discrimination. So sexist maybe, or ageist. Trying to think of other similar adjectives that might fit in this. Well, probably it has an S here. Drags. Tokes, maybe? If it's being used to say, I took a drag on a joint, maybe? I'm so aware of how misdirecting and punny this particular puzzle has been. So I'm trying to think of alternative ways to read these clues. Shelter from attack. Oh, a foxhole, maybe. So I was thinking of this as a verb, but perhaps it's a noun. Rather than sheltering somebody from attack, you're going to enter a shelter from attack, a foxhole in combat, for instance. So to be hot and bothered, maybe it is fret. I think that was my first thought. As opposed to, this doesn't look great, actually. Maybe it's not tokes. Runs up and down. Oh, this doesn't look very good either, does it? Maybe it's not fret. Oh boy, I really liked foxhole, but I'm no longer very confident about it. So, to be hot and bothered. All right, let's say this were sexist. Part of YOLO, you only live once. This could still be live or once. Oh, actually, but that's a good point, though. I can now think, if this were ageist, that wouldn't work. I'm trying to think if there are other protected classes that would... Well, actually, I don't know if age is one, but I'm just trying to think of anything that might be in here that would actually fit in this length, and I'm having trouble thinking of that. So I think it might be this. So this would be once or live. So this would be C or V. Oh, scales. That's much better than trills. Why did I think trills before I thought scales? So in other words, runs up and down, say, a keyboard, or you could do this on any instrument, but you play scales, runs of notes that go up and down. There we go. Okay, so this is once. You only live once. And as opposed to unlike, there we go. There we go. So to be hot and bothered is to fuss, maybe. So this is foxhole. Okay. Put down to a klutz in dated slang. Oh, wow, amazing. Okay. Strange. I remember this from, this elementary school. Smooth move x-lax was something that children loved to say to one another when someone would drop something or, do something, make some kind of foolish mistake. Refers to the laxative brand, X-Lax. Okay, races in a way. Revs? Why is that races? I mean, I guess you could make your engine sort of race. You could rev the engine, even if it doesn't mean the car is going any faster, necessarily. I guess depending on if you're in neutral or not. It might slowly grow on you. I don't know, maybe this isn't revs. What else would fit there, though? It seems like it kind of has to be. Okay, Eugene... Oh, I think I skipped over this before without really thinking about it. Eugene O'Neill's desire under the elms, it looks like. Oh, a beard might slowly grow on you. Yes, it does. It does, after all. On me, anyway. C25 down. Oh, right. This looks like Bohm. Ernst Bohm? Nobel Prize-winning pioneer in atomic theory. I'm not confident enough about that to put it in. They're open to change. Literally Sulphur Island, right? Okay, so these are all, I remember seeing all these at the beginning of the puzzle. Were there any downs I've not yet looked at? Be up. Ill-suited. Inapt or unapt, maybe? The drinks are on me. Dwarf planet between Mars and Jupiter. Interesting. I don't know. Chas Great Evans. Oh. I'll know this when I see it. Yeah, I don't know. Can't bring it to mind. There's a Bill Evans, a pianist, Bill Evans, jazz pianist, but that's 4 letters. Central part of town, kicking and screaming often. Involving a give and take, right. This area I was a bit iffy on. These combinations of letters. Scorchers. Oh, a hot one. Ah, right, hot one. Okay, we've been having many of those in the UK recently, although it's finally cooled down a bit after some rain, which has been very nice. One in a state of disbelief. I'm not sure. Member of high society. Oh, I was going to say a pothead, which would work with my theory earlier, but that doesn't fit either of these, which both look pretty correct at this point. Pot something? Does that work at all here? Involving a give and take. I don't know. Member of high society. Well, maybe it's just a pot user instead of a pot smoker. That would still fit. Just this still looks so strange to me. Something in here might be wrong. Oh, no, two-way. Oh, two-way. Right, sorry. Two-way involving a give and take. It's a two-way street. I don't know. It's a two-way conversation. It involves some give and take. Okay, great. So they move around in orbits. Our eyes. Oh, right, of course. That makes sense. And then one in a state of disbelief. Oh, an atheist, right. So it's on the right. I was on the right track with skeptic, but I should have kept going, I guess, with that train of thought is what I'm trying to say. Ah, kicking and screaming often are gerunds, right. Gerunds, kicking and screaming, this sort of particular form of word that has commonality with both verbs and nouns, generally in English and with ing. And so what this means is kicking and screaming are examples of this often, but they don't, right, they can be gerunds, I guess, is what this is saying. Central part of town, Main Street. And see that's, oh, Galilee? No, there we go, Galilee. See that's fed by the Jordan River, right, okay. There we go. And now selfish demand is me first. Okay, finally this puzzle's coming together. Boy, I found this extremely difficult. Dwarf planet between, is it Ceres between Mars and Jupiter? Okay, I wouldn't, obviously, as you saw, I wasn't able to pull that out of my head, but at least we got there. Jazz Great Evans. Is this Bill Evans? Is Bill Evans' name spelled differently than I thought it was? Green sort. Ill-suited, unfit. Okay, this was not Ernst. I'm glad I didn't put that in. I think I was thinking of Ernst. Well, now I can't even think of the scientist I was thinking of. That's fine. Doesn't matter. I'm sure one of you knows who I mean. With 5 down, Nobel Prize-winning pioneer in atomic theory. Oh, Niels Bohr. Niels Bohr. Not Niels Bohm. What was I thinking of with Bohm? Niels Bohr, sorry. There we go. Just had that completely wrong. Maybe I was thinking of ohm. Yeah. I think I was combining Bohr and ohm, and I created Bohm, which is also a name, which is probably why it seemed reasonable to me, because I've known someone by that name. Anyway, a green sort is an ingenue, right? So someone who's sort of young and still not very well versed in something, I guess. Okay. Oh, Gil Evans. Oh yeah, okay, I do know that name, but not as well as the presumably unrelated Bill Evans. Okay. The drinks are on me. Oh, right. I was on the right track. I was being slightly too literal. I should have been somewhere in between what I was doing before. So the bar menu. The drinks are on me, says the bar menu, I guess. To be up to flying. In midair, right, literally in midair, flying, okay. You never know when it's going to be literal and when it's going to require a logical leap or some kind of lateral thinking. What makes you question everything you know, question mark. They're open to change. Former British colony. Okay, I should actually think about this for more than 2 seconds. So is it Fiji? Oh, Iwo Jima, Sulphur Island. Oh, okay, I didn't know that meant Sulphur Island. That's very interesting. Right. So former British colony whose national flag includes the Union Jack Fiji. That looks right. That was a guess. I had that in my head at the very beginning of the puzzle, but I honestly wasn't very confident about it. And coming back here with that I made me a bit more confident. And now I think it's correct with this Iwo Jima. Well, oh, what makes you question everything you know is Jeopardy. That's an extremely clever clue. In the sense that it's sort of, you could read it in the more obvious sense, in the idiomatic sense where you're saying, oh, wow, I'm learning so many things from this general knowledge quiz show. But also you literally do have to, everything you're saying that you know, so to speak, you have to put in the form of question on the game show Jeopardy, the television game show Jeopardy. Okay, they're open to change. Tip jars. Okay, great. I was on the right track with this, but I just couldn't come up with the answer. Unfading is fast, right? So this is holding fast. It's unfading in that sense. To be up. Oh, so the upper daughter of Amonasro is indeed Aida. So could have put that in earlier, but didn't. Be up is shot. Oh, take a shot, take a try. Oh, so be up is bat, right? Okay, so it's a baseball thing. If you're up, you're at bat. Is that it? It is. Wow, that was tricky. I don't know why I found that so tricky, but I really did, I have to say. So this was just, in the way that often themeless puzzles are, this was absolutely packed with punnery and wordplay. So it might slowly grow on you being a beard. Let's see, they're open to change, the tip jars. Drags isn't really a pun. It's just slight misdirection in that you think of, there are several, I think, more day-to-day common uses of drags than tokes. And that kind of thing happens in these puzzles as well, where it isn't necessarily a pun. It's just they're being intentionally vague with these. A single word clue is often does its own misdirection inside your own brain without the crossword constructor needing to try very hard to misdirect you, because so many individual words in a language have many meanings, as they do here. This one, the drinks are on me, being essentially spoken from the perspective of the bar menu, is very good. Yeah, I mean, it's just a green sort being an ingenue. I mean, this is sort of has that one word vibe, even though it's a two-word clue, because green can mean so many different things. So yeah, just absolutely packed full of clever use of language. So well done, Patrick John Duggan. It definitely gave me a workout, that's for sure. So let me know how you fared with this one. It was tricky, I thought. And now let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. Shall we? I think there were a few. Yeah. So Bradley explains Laura Dern is the daughter of Diane Ladd. I didn't know that, I don't think. For the 1991 film Rambling Rose, Dern was nominated for Best Actress, while Lane got the nod for Best Supporting. They also appeared together in the 1990 David Lynch film Wild at Heart. I did not know they were related. That is so interesting. Thank you. So hopefully I retain that knowledge. And speaking of, well, actually, I'll get to that in a moment. First, AJ Cham says carom, C-A-R-O-M, which means to sort of ricochet, is not just a term in billiards. There's even a form of the game specifically called carom billiards. It's played on a pocketless table with 2 cue balls, one for each player and 1 additional ball. The object is to play a carom shot where your ball hits both of the others. That's interesting. I'm not aware of that. And Calixto Navarro replied to say, interesting, the word for that shot in Spanish is carambola, which is also a somewhat informal but very common way of saying confusion or pure luck. Carambola is also the name of a peculiarly shaped fruit, the star fruit. I believe the name of the game may come from the fruit. I did look that up, and the etymology is disputed. It doesn't seem as though there's any clear evidence to suggest that the name of the game and the fruit are related, but there has been speculation about it. Anyway, thank you to both AJ Cham and Calixto Navarro. That was interesting. And finally, yes, regarding remembering things and retaining knowledge, Mr. EQ says, regarding Sal Khan, founder of Khan Academy, the online video learning thing, Mr. EQ says, I'm wondering if you remember that months ago he also came up, and I gave a brief introduction into the story where he initially started making math videos for his cousins, and by default made the videos public, which allowed other people to watch as well. This sparked the whole endeavor of the Khan Academy. I think in the next video you mentioned that you did some surface-level research into the story yourself, but it's reasonable that a one-time introduction would soon fade from memory if not recalled once or twice. Yes, now that you remind me, I do absolutely remember your comment and then reading about it myself, and you're also, I think, very much correct that it does take, I think, more than, I mean, unless, well, I was going to say it takes more than being told something once or being exposed to it once to remember it long term. I suppose that doesn't need to be true. I think if it's something that has some connection to you, or if it slots into knowledge or an interest you already have, if there's some reason that your brain is already primed to receive a particular kind of knowledge, then yeah, I think you can learn things after just hearing them once. But often with the incredibly broad and shallow kind of knowledge you get from doing the crossword, I find I don't tend to actually sort of learn things just by encountering them in the crossword, even with that, bit of supplementary research. And so the reason I'm talking about this is because I have said in the past, I think the crossword is, well, one, it's a good way to kind of keep your, regularly. There's been plenty of research that has demonstrated that, particularly as people age, it's incredibly valuable to do activities that involve language. Writing, reading, crossword solving, that sort of thing is incredibly valuable, and in pretty carefully controlled studies has been demonstrated to delay the onset of things like dementia. But it doesn't mean you're going to learn a bunch of things from the crossword. But what I do like about the crossword and being exposed to things is that it can prompt you to be exposed to things you might not know, which you can then use as a prompt to learn more about them in a legitimate sense. I didn't really end up doing that with Khan Academy, apparently, just in the sense that it wasn't, it's sort of an interesting little bit of internet trivia, and it seems like a very laudable and worthwhile organization, but it wasn't something that I then plunged into and learned particularly very much about. So yes, it's true that probably a lot of that knowledge faded from my mind. Whereas you look at it, there, certainly the number of times that Oreo or something has come up in the crossword, I mean, that's going to be stuck in my head forever. That's a bad example because I was already aware of Oreos. And it's a particularly bad example because there isn't really anything interesting to learn about Oreos. But you do just start becoming, you don't necessarily gain knowledge from the crossword, but what I do think is it exercises and even to some extent expands your vocabulary. And those are two sort of different things. Vocabulary and knowledge are not really the same thing. I don't, I'm no neuroscientist, but I suspect they sort of use different parts of the brain and are triggered in different ways. And vocabulary, I think, is more what is being tested and being reinforced by the crossword. Facility with words, as opposed to actual depth of knowledge, which is definitely not particularly tested. Shallow breadth of knowledge is what's being tested by the crossword. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm going to cut this off at this point. But I just was reflecting on this a bit after reading that comment about Khan Academy, because it's true. I do now remember having that experience, but it did fade from my memory quickly, and I think that's probably why. So anyway, that's that for the Friday crossword. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Saturday crossword, another themeless puzzle, and possibly more difficult than this one, which is saying something, because I found this one to be pretty tough. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Hope you join me to find out yourself. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Friday. Take care.